All right, she's got a keeper in her world.
Saw a land and a Mox Opal. Seems pretty
Oh
solid.
man, it's a
Oh,
Dark Steel
a
Citadel.
Memnite? Oh, God.
There's
Oh,
that Mox Opal
oh,
for 2
oh
mana.
no. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah, you
Oh,
get the
okay.
Signal Pest down. In this way, either of those cranial platings is going to be coming on turn 2. And good luck, Sam, with a 5-powered cranial plating coming out is just a big one.
Yeah. I don't know that she has a second land.
I would have cast a cranial plating on 1 then.
Oh, she drew it.
Gosh.
Best day of her life. She might be playing around Bolt here. Pretty good.
I don't care. Bolt me.
Pretty good land choice by Sam. Not Bolt you. Bolt the
I mean,
creature
yeah,
that
that's
she put
fine.
in them.
That's fine. Just you can have the bolt all you want. All right. So this Master of Ethereum is a big, beefy bad boy. It's a 5/5. It's pumping the team. So the Memnite's going to deal 3, and the Signal Pest is going to deal 1.
Yeah.
And that's a lot. So there's no bolt there, because Sam definitely would have bolted down a Signal Pest, I think.
So Living End can't play Bolt, but she doesn't know that he's on Living End. So that's a very Jund first play where you're just like, here's
sure.
my Blackcleave Cliffs.
All right, here's the cycle.
Now the jig is up.
Yes. He's telegraphed his hand here. Really just exposed himself to the world.
Who's the real deal is what I want to know.
The real deal? The real deal Akil Steel? Happy Meal Copperfield?
All right.
The real deal. I don't know who the real deal is.
So we've got
The Boggles guy? If he's
cranial
here,
plating
I'll put him on.
He's not here, and we're not putting him on.
He's not. I don't think he's here.
Cranial plating equips to Signal Pest. Can we focus, please? We've got a match going on.
Oh, stop it with that. I don't know.
17.
I don't know that this is a match or a bloodbath. So the cranial plating's giving +6/+6, or
Yes.
+6/+0. The Master of Ethereum is 6 on its own, so that's 12.
Yep.
And the creatures, the Signal Pest trigger deals 2 more, is 14. And the power of the 2 other creatures is 3 in total.
So Sam
17.
has an out. If he had Simian Spirit Guide
Oh, he could
and
live the end
it would be very strong there.
and the beginning.
Like the strength of this Living End deck is you have 3 mana Wraths, and you're very difficult to interact with.
Okay. Do you like Living End in the meta right now? If you were going to go play 15 rounds at a Grand Prix?
No.
No. You feel like you get a lot of collateral
Too much
damage
splash
from...
hit. Yeah, like the GP after Dredge gets banned or something in Dredge gets banned.
Living End's just
Living
gonna
End's
be
just
the
gonna
jam.
woo.
That's where you're going to be. You think it's the next most powerful deck?
No. Certainly not.
Okay.
But I think you get you have an advantage against decks that are trying to interact and then can't. Plus, all the decks that are faster than you rely on creatures.
Right.
So your access to 3 mana, like 8 3-mana Wrath of Gods, is huge.
Huge. Aces.
Aces. Huge.
They're huge. All right. So, sideboarding here, the Affinity deck should just not sideboard. The only way I would sideboard is if I have main deck champion etched champions. I would just put in whatever other aggressive card I have to take those out.
Sure.
Because their only removal spell is Beast Within and Ignite Chewer. Yeah?
Shriek Ball. But that's not
Shriekmaw, sure.
that's not really where you want to be in this matchup.
Right. So my point is that like you just want to turn up the heat as the Affinity deck.
Sure.
Where does Living End want to be?
Living End wants to go up to 4 Ingot Chewers because you've got them.
Right.
You probably want to cut the Street Wraiths
Okay. Don't
And
have time or the life total.
the life total is important, but that's usually like one of the first cuts.
Uh huh.
And you want to get in some fairy macabres.
Oh sure.
Fairy macabre is like sneaky good against affinity.
Right. Because the way the affinity deck plays it is just in response to your living end.
Right.
We
Sacrifice
sacrifice
my
the whole
guys.
team, and so if you can fairy macabre a couple of the important creatures there, Arcbound Ravager.
So he,
So
so Maddie's saying that she wants the text of living end because she feels that one of her sideboard cards actually does nothing, and if it's Grafdigger's Cage, that's
she's
100%
absolutely
correct.
Yes.
Literally does nothing.
It's I've had it in play before against the living end player, and was summarily embarrassed.
So here's the trick for affinity if you're playing against living end.
Yeah.
Like you said, you just sacrifice the team before the living end comes out and you brings your team back.
Yeah.
You don't sack the Ravager
Oh yeah.
because when living end is resolving, it puts Ravager in the yard, the rest of your stuff into play, but Ravager's modular trigger doesn't happen until the spell's completely resolved. So not only do you get your team back, you get to load your teammate up. It's very bad if it actually happens.
Sure. You get to put all those counters in like a Vault Scourge or something insane. Wow, yeah, I didn't even think about it that way.
Yeah, so the level 1 is that the affinity player can just sacrifice everything,
Sure.
and that's not good for you. That's bad for you. You're just like, all right, well, I'm gonna eat it, and to beat that, you want to have like your fairy macabres.
Right.
But then they get this second level, and to beat that, you need to have an ingot chewer minimum.
Right. So, never having played this Living End deck myself, I'm always curious as to like what. So the only requirement your opening hand has is the appropriate lands to like play an untapped land every turn.
You want 1 land, 0 living ends.
Yeah, you want no living ends and like you want just one is fine.
Yeah. Like everything cycles for 1, so you're just like, all right, well here we go. We'll get the rest of the lands eventually.
Okay, so like I mean that has to make like
Mulliganing is so nice. Like I have mulligan to 4 and just been like on top of the
actually
world.
do mulligan to 4.
Oh yeah,
I figured you would just. I mean that list of requirements is very short.
sure, but like you only run like 16 lands or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, because like I mean you think about a deck like Infect, they want appropriate land, a any creature, and like a protection spell as their opener or their 3 opening cards.
Sure.
And in this deck, I mean, you only have one. Did the guy only need one?
Yeah, you only need
I only
one.
need
Like in
a
a
land.
7, you probably want 2, and you want a Cascader.
Oh sure. Yeah, but like you don't need any of it because you're cycling such a high percentage of the cards in the deck.
Right. Against Affinity, you need to mulligan a little bit more aggressively because you have to have a good hand.
You have to have an ingot chewer.
It doesn't look like he does.
Well,
He might have a Fairy Macabre, though.
The land doesn't indicate that he does. All right, here's an island. The Vault Scourge. So I'd be interested to see Maddie's exact list because as you see here, she's got Galvanic Blast in hand and Island in play.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
I normally I normally play whatever. Either I'm playing Thoughtcast and an island, or I'm playing Galvanic Blast in a mountain. But there's a billion different ways to build this deck. It's one of the great things about Modern is that there's just so many interesting things you can be doing. Alright, so Springleaf Drum comes down, produces a Signal Pest.
Twisted Abomination for the swamp cycling. I don't see that in many living end lists.
No? Because there's the creatures that like cycle for 2 different basics, right?
Right.
There's the one that swamp and mountain cycles.
Yeah. Typically, what is it? Pale Recluse Spider is pretty good because it gives you access to um, a Godless Shrine. So you can play like a Godless Shrine, and then Pale Recluse Spider gets everything,
Okay.
and it's like big.
All right. So Sam can definitely living end here, but I don't think he does with such a small amount of. Uh, it's only we're only looking at 2 damage here,
Yeah.
so he
No,
has
you have
more. He
time.
has more time to set up.
You have time to set it up. You might have to fire it off in response to like a Ravager.
Okay.
But the fact that you have the ability to wait is good. That's big.
Here's Steel Overseer.
That can get out of hand very quickly.
Sure. I would still cycle as much as I could here, probably.
Oh yeah,
Untap, and so you still have the opportunity to do it on her turn,
sure.
or on your untap step. I'm assuming he has the instant one, not the because one Cascader is an instant, one's a sorcery, correct?
Correct. And one requires a target, which is very relevant sometimes.
Sure. Against the more lean decks, your Jess guys or whatever.
That's why Beast Within is so good.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can hit one of their lands, which they won't get back,
Okay.
and you force them to have a target for your Demonic Dread.
Okay. See now, I feel like Maddie's going to be very hesitant to use all these guys to. All right. I want to get active. I want to start attacking. Oh, here's a Thoughtseize. Now this is either going to draw out the living end or not.
No, I don't think you're living in here, even if you've got it. You're not facing down that much damage. The problem here is that he cycled 3 cards last turn and still ended the turn with 2 mana up. So I don't know what's in his hand. He might have drawn like living ends, which is the worst thing you could do.
Yeah, I mean you've got 4 bad draws in the deck, 3 or 4,
3.
depending on how many.
Oh no, has been announced. Yeah, this isn't great for Affinity. She doesn't have like a very good board state to get through this.
I don't.
So here's the nice thing about Living End. And I think there's a match of me on camera playing Billy. And Billy's on Jeskai. And then, so at some point, like you have to play around counter spells with the deck. But at some point, you're just like cycling. And then you have like all these lands. And you're just like, all right, well, I'll hard cast my Street Wraith. And like every card is a threat at that point.
Sure. Okay.
So do we resolve the Thoughtseize? All right, here we
Right.
go. So, Demonic Dread, Fairy Macabre, land.
Everyone's a reader here, so he's gonna discard the Fairy Macabre. Interesting.
That's a solid one.
Yeah, because if Sam casts the Demonic Dread,
Yeah, she's totally fine. But
all right. So what Maddie's got to do here is keep a much more aggressive hand. This is a matchup where you can mulligan aggressively.
oh yeah,
You can have quite a bit of mulligans to.
you really want the Ravager. The Ravager is a huge card in this matchup.
Yeah, but like a hand where you like empty 5 or 6 cards out of your hand on turn 1 is like very, very good as well.
Sure.
All right. Sam's got a game here, and
You got yourselves a match.
yeah, this is a match. Modern's really interesting. This is one of those things where, like, I think living ends. So if you're preparing for a large tournament, it's a known quantity. Like, it's one that's on your radar that you've seen before.
Sure.
Hopefully. Uh, but I think Modern offers a lot of these situations where you get to think about how your deck interacts with this maybe unknown quantity or not known to you quantity.
Right.
Um,
So like, Living End's not going to be a part of any gauntlets. It may have been during Eldrazi Winter,
sure.
but now before then, it wasn't a part of any like testing gauntlets.
Okay.
But it's definitely something that you improve your matchup by knowing what they're trying to do and what they can or can't do.
Right. Because that's the big what they can or can't do is a huge thing. That's the big the big thing with Living End is that they can do one thing really really well, but it limits the other things that they're able to do.
Absolutely.
All right. All right. I see a Mox Opal, I think. Nope. All right. I was mistaken.
You see nothing.
I see nada. All right. I see a pile shuffle to 7 piles. I'm into 7 piles.
You're into 7 piles?
Oh, I love 7 piles.
Back when I used to pile shuffle, I would do 7. I would do it much faster than this as well. Just shoot my own horn
I mean,
there.
she's moving at a good pace.
She is moving at a good pace. I'm not saying she's not. I'm just saying I was exceptionally fast.
Exceptionally.
Exceptionally fast.
All right. Well, we'll have to go back in the archives and see if there's any pile shuffle evidence. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while since I pile shuffled.
Do you think you can pile shuffle your EDH deck in under 60 seconds? 7 piles. I'm talking it from being at 1 stack, lay the piles out, and put them back into 1 stack.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I never really like. So I don't think about how long it's taking
No?
when I'm doing it. So I don't like.
That's the problem with pile shuffling.
Right. So I don't have like this like
Internal
1 minute
clock.
timer that's going. But I know that my opponents, when I was pile shuffling, often commented that I was extremely fast at pile shuffling.
Well, Maddie's chosen the riffle on this shuffle. She's down to 5.
I think the riffle's much better.
I mean, 5 cards is plenty for this Affinity deck to win.
That's a good one.
There, yeah, that's a nice hand. I see 2 lands, a Galvanic Blast, a Cranial Plating, and a Vault Scourge.
Having that Darksteel Citadel is actually a huge deal.
Concur, because it protects the other land, the Glimmer Void,
Right.
and it adds to the Cranial Plating count.
Also, can't be Beast Within,
Okay,
which is a very big deal.
okay,
It's also an artifact that can't be Ingot Chewered,
okay.
which might be
deal.
relevant.
I guess you would fire off turn 1 Ingot Chewer on, like, a regular artifact land, if they were legal. But I'm sure he'll be more than happy to target this Cranial Plating should he have an Ingot Chewer. That's a fine ignet to chew on.
Yes, it is. It's one of the better ones.
Alright. Ornithopter comes down. Everybody goes to... Alright.
And here we are. Plating is live.
Alright. Sam's going to 16 here.
That's dangerous. Not dangerous, but getting the land, the basic force is dangerous here.
It is?
Yeah, so many of your cards require red, like all of them
Uh-huh.
require red.
Like the Blood Crypt or Stomping Ground is much better here.
Yeah. So that creature might be the only one that cycles for green. I don't know exactly what his deck list is.
Alright, here's our red and black mana, so we're online. Here's the pass.
So you can be online by having like this one red mana. Like you can cycle all your red mana cards now, but you can't cycle a red mana card, draw a red mana card, cycle it at this point.
Alright. So Maddie's going to attack. And alright. So it could
Signal
have been
Fest has
10 to
joined.
25.
So this is the turn. It looks like.
Looks like, I mean, yeah, this is it. Do or do not. There is no try because she's got Galvanic Blast ready for him.
Mm-hmm. Down to 9.
Yep, he's into it. And he's looked at, I mean, we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 extra cards. So I can't imagine he doesn't have a third land. But sometimes you just miss. Alright, must have the instant one. See, don't play anything else, Maddie. Just attack. Here's a big trigger on the Signal Pest. Here's a Violent Outburst. Yeah?
Yeah, I think
Violent
we're going to see a
Outburst is
violent
the
outburst
only,
here. Either a violent outburst or a handshake.
Or a Beast Within. Beast Within on the Cranial Plating lets him live another turn.
1, 2, 3. Sure. It's not great if that's what he's got.
Is there an instant speed welding jar? He's gonna okay, I think what he has is Beast Within on the Cranial Plating. So Sam's still gonna take 3 here, and this indicates that he does not have the life from the or the living end.
Right. So it's still 3 damage, which puts him
Maddie's
at
still gonna
6.
get 2.
I don't know what card Maddie drew, but I probably wouldn't play it.
No, yeah, just pass here.
You've got
See,
lethal on the board.
Here's the other thing that all this life gain's doing is it can prolong the number of draw steps she has to draw like 2 Galvanic Blasts. Alright.
All right. So either he's got it here or he doesn't.
Trigger. Alright.
That was the second card, sorry. So you shouldn't know the location of that card. Hey, Scott! Good. That was a stupid.
Alright, so we have a little dexterity error here.
Yeah, it's not going to be.
Not going to be a big deal.
Cascade, and I was a little bit excited, and I accidentally threw the second card onto the table, revealing it. I revealed the first card, and it was the card I'm going to hit with Cascade. So she should know the location of this card, neither should I. But it would normally have been under that card, so it would be on the top.
So I really hope Maddie doesn't scoop here. I hope what she has in hand is like a Memnite or like another Vault Scourge.
Sure. Yeah, I think we need to fire off this Galvanic Blast in response, though. So another Galvanic Blast is lethal.
Why does this matter? Is he gonna gain any life here?
No, but she's losing Metalcraft.
Oh sure. Yeah. Oh yeah. I see what you did there. All right. So here's a Memnite.
You had an artifact.
Yeah. So firing that Galvanic Blast off was fairly important. It does turn on all the
Yeah.
galvanic blast draws.
Combat. What?
All right. Sam's gonna attack with all the guys that have the most power.
That has to
I
go.
think he's gonna leave one back.
Yeah, you should definitely leave one back.
Attack
I don't know that.
like that.
What are the powers on these? Are they threes? And
Yeah,
then the
so
it's four?
4 and 3 threes, so 13.
Okay, so yeah, so it does not increase his clock by any to leave the one back.
Oh, it's 13. 7, 10,
13.
13.
Halves the life total.
Yeah.
Second man. Cycle.
Okay.
Play a land.
We're gonna cycle again to see if there's anything else to.
Blast you.
How much?
Never mind, it's only 2. That's so bad.
It does.
I
How
should
much
have
normally?
blasted you
5.
when that was.
Yeah. So Maddie's
Oh, it's
figuring
4.
out
I was
the.
thinking it was 5. That's why I'm not fetching.
All right.
You go down 2.
You blasted me.
Yep.
That'll do it.
Done what it was for.
Was the card you were thinking about Grafdigger's Cage?
Yeah, like I knew it did.
All right. So Maddie just didn't. We didn't see any Ravagers.
We didn't see any Ravagers, and we saw a little bit of misplay in the second game. I don't know if it would have mattered. I don't know what her last card in hand was.
Right.
I don't think it's as good as.
But so we got